Hey guys, this is Ponce, not on the PvE yet, but here with Riot's reveal of Jhin the Virtuoso. So this is going to contain all his abilities and some information that we'll discuss at the end. For those of you who are curious, he's not on the PvE yet. He most likely will be later today or tomorrow. So those of you who want to check out the actual full game gameplay stuff I'm known for new champions, check out the description below or the annotations in the future, and that'll be available. Or just keep an eye on my channel. But anyway, let's get this underway. Here's his abilities, first starting with his passive, Whisper. So this is that whole 4-shot mechanic thing that was sort of discussed, or kind of people had an idea. I think it was a Riot post talking about it. But anyway, let's just read the description here. Jhin's gun Whisper chambers 4 shots, the last of which always crits and applies extra damage based on a portion of his target's missing health. After firing all 4 shots, Jhin takes a moment to reload. Jhin's crit damage deals less damage than normal, and his attack speed doesn't actually scale with attack speed. Instead, Jhin gains attack damage from any attack speed and crit chance he earns through itemization and runes, while crits give him a burst of movement based on his attack speed. So, interesting thing going on there. Kind of like Graves-like. It almost seems like the Graves rework was an experiment for this champion kind of thing. Not that he's a purely experiment, but it was like, they could see how it would work out based on that. So, interesting thing going on there. Let's move on to Dancing Grenade. Have it. You can never really tell how much, what level the minions are supposed to be, and like how many items he has or the champion has in these preview things, but that seemed to deal a lot of damage. Jhin throws a canister at a nearby targeted enemy. After landing, the canister bounces up to 4 times on other nearby enemies. Killing an enemy with Dancing Grenade causes the following bounce to deal extra damage. So interesting stuff. It's just like, I guess, an extra nuke thing. Moving on to Deadly Flourish, his W. So there's sort of 2 uses going on there. Just to explain this, check out the actual description. A little bit like a Lucian piercing shot, almost looks like, with an extra little mechanic. So passive. Enemy champions that have been struck by Jhin's basic attacks, captive audience, which is his next ability, which we'll show in a second, or allied damage are marked for a few seconds. Active. Jhin fires a massively long-range shot that deals or damages all enemy minions and the first enemy champion in a target direction. If the enemy champion he strikes has already been marked, they're briefly rooted, while Jhin himself gains a burst of movement speed. So yeah, almost, I don't know, yeah, it's almost kind of like Lucian Jhin, or Lucian Jinx-like kind of in its mechanic. But anyway, moving on. Captive audience, this is his E, thing we just mentioned earlier. This is a trap. It's going to go with a Viz. There you have it. So just to explain what's going on here. Jhin places a trap on the ground that turns invisible after arming. Enemy champions that walk over the trap trigger it, revealing and marking them with Deadly Flourish and creating a large slowing zone. After a brief pause, the trap detonates, damaging all enemies inside it. Inside its explosion. So I don't know. I guess a little bit like a Nidalee trap, Caitlyn trap kind of thing, with a tiny bit of what's that guy's name? Victor thrown into the mix. Lastly, we're going to use his ult, or take a look at his ult, Curtain Call.
Prepare for your finale.
So even comes that weird music that was associated with him earlier. So yeah, kind of like he turns himself into a turret and just starts going, ham with his shots. Yeah, kind of a weird mix between, I guess, the Caitlyn ult and a Xerath ult, sort of. Except, people can get in the way and block his shots. It look like, well, so like the Caitlyn ult in that sense, but yeah, he sits there shooting. So yeah, some sort of Caitlyn Xerath turret ult sort of thing. Interesting. Let's just read what to explain exactly what it does. Jhin fully assembles his weapon for taking aim in a target direction, revealing all marked targets in a huge area. He can then fire 4 rounds that stop at the first enemy champion struck, slowing them and dealing damage based on their missing health. Jin's 4th and final shot with Curtain Call deals massively increased damage, and it's guaranteed to crit. So there you have it. Yeah. So in terms of playstyle, I mean, the reload mechanic makes Graves the obvious comparison. It's not exactly the same because his auto attacks I don't think are skill shots, but kind of Caitlyn like a little bit. But allegedly his auto attack range is not all that long. If you read through the comments down below, he's supposed to be kind of a more immobile sort of slow AD carry. So I guess in that sense he also might resemble Kog'Maw a little bit. Like he's not supposed to be dashing around at high speeds, typically, and using escapes and stuff like that. So in that sense, maybe he does resemble Jinx a little bit. We'll see. I mean, once you get in game, I'll have a much better idea of what exactly he'll be like. Also, Rad started talking about in lane, he's not really good at sustained trading because of his slow attack speed and limited bullets. So, he's more about kind of backing off and getting a big 4th shot on people while carefully last hitting. So in that sense, almost like a crappier Caitlyn who's like can harass all the time, but especially wants to harass when her passive is up, kind of thing. Also, there's another thing Riot mentions in the discussion below here. They said the reveal is missing something that got locked in too late for localization. Death in beauty, or beauty in death. I'm not sure. Maybe it'll be attached to his passive or something. But killing blows spawns a blooming flower on the corpse that reveals and slows enemies nearby before detonating 4 damage. So yeah, the whole exploding flowers motif thing that was in the preview stuff earlier, that did make it into the game. It looks like. But yeah, that's really all there is for now. Again, we'll have a much better idea of what's going on with this champion once he's available in game for me to test with. Definitely looks like he's supposed to be an AD carry. We'll see if I can make him work in other lanes. I can typically make pretty much anything work in the top lane if I have to. It doesn't necessarily mean it's good, but maybe try out some mid lane stuff as well. We'll see. Jungling, I don't know. Support, no. So yeah, again, guys, just stay tuned to the channel. Keep an eye on stuff here, and as soon as the in-game stuff is available, that'll be up on the channel. I'll also be most likely live streaming him on twitch.tv/Ponce whenever all my videos are up. Streaming comes after I get all the videos up. So, yeah, just stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you around.